Hey, great people, welcome to Beyond and Within. I'm Cecilia Njorege, and today's series, I'm setting up a series called Clean Up. Basically, it's revisiting our childhood traumas, the things we've gone through, and we're also looking at the baggage that we've been carrying and forgiveness. And just to mention, when you look back, there are things that you carry that affect the way you carry yourself, and most of the time you find we are so much aligned, and we've been carrying the patterns and we're not aware of them. So you find you're prone to being angry when you see a specific person doing something. It takes you back to certain memories that are quite painful that you've not dealt with. And this being the festive season, we are visiting families. We understand this is a place where most of us, and these are places where we've grown up in, and those around us, be it guardians, parents, our sisters, our brothers, the people who have raised us to where we have been. And we find that during this season, most of the time we tend to be people pleaser, and it's because we've not dealt with the baggage that we've had before. So you can take a journey back and just look at what are some of the things that makes you angry when you see a certain relative. What are some of the things when you see them being done make you angry, and how have you participated in them? Because it's very easy to throw the blame game on them, but just being aware of how you've contributed. Could be you did not create healthy boundaries, and boundaries, it's a whole new episode that I'm going to be doing because it carries so much, and most of the time uh, it's often confused with creating walls. But basically boundaries are parameters through which you tell people how they're going to come in your life, so that you protect the space of who you are inside you. And so, looking at the childhood traumas that you may have gone through, a trauma is any event or activity uh, that challenged your safety. So it could be physical, emotional abuse in some way that made you not feel safe in a certain space, or as a child you feel you didn't get protected. So these are some of the things that we carry, and we are so told to ignore and forgive, and yet we don't know what forgiveness means, because we tend to think forgiveness, you're doing it so that you try and make peace with the person, but basically it's all about you. Forgiveness is letting go of the negative energy and all that happened, to just be in a place of peace where you're going to be whereby you're going to be in touch and authentic with who you are. So what are some of the childhood traumas that you've gone through? What really angered you as a child? uh, what are the steps that you can take to just help you go past this? So I've also gone through childhood traumas, very many, to be very many. And being the last born, most of the time you find that you tend to be made for decisions, and this deprives you of the the ability to make decisions for yourself. So you find you're not able to trust yourself because of how you've been told to go consult, you don't know anything. And these things come into your adult life, and you find yourself most of the time you're seeking validation because it's something that you've been conditioned to be doing. So growing up, being the last born, I've gone through so many traumas, but I'm in love with my family. I have the best family, and I believe the challenges that I went through have shaped me to who I am today. And I feel freely to talk about them because it's something that I've dealt with. So I always, there's an incident that happened in my life, and I might not go into the intricacies of what happened, but one thing that came out of it was the validation. You're going to express your voice, but you find most of the time you're told, quote unquote, where would you listen to us? And this tends to shun your independence as a person, especially now when you're trying to transit from childhood to adulthood. And these things really made me become resentful, become very bitter with my life. But it took reading books, in the company of being around great friends who encouraged me to seek therapy. And yeah, what I got, and some great individuals from YouTube, uh, like Jordan Peterson, who really encouraged me to just follow the voice inside. And it's been a journey, it still is a journey, and I can say freely that I've been able to walk out of that trauma. And this being the case, I'm able to now interact with my families very well. I don't carry the bitterness, because before I would carry the bitterness just to try and show them, like, you angered me to this point, you did this to me. But when I sat down and realized, actually this was damaging my health, it was damaging my sense of personal well-being, and it reached a point where I had to clean up and really let go, not for them but for myself. So it's been a journey. I'm so happy. And yeah, you can take several steps. You can take steps. You can see a therapist if you're not able to. You can talk with your family member if they're approachable. You can create healthy boundaries. You can let them know that I don't entertain you speaking to this in such a manner. At first, creating boundaries is going to be seen as though you're putting a wall before people. People will tell you you're arrogant. They will tell you you're seeing yourself as special than other people. But just look at it, you will have to pay a price. So whether you create a boundary or you don't create a boundary, there's a price which you will pay. So it's up to you to decide, what price are you going to pay. Eventually, if you create a healthy boundary, you're going to be, this will be a parameter through which people are going to come into your life. They might decide not to talk to you, which is okay. Eventually, they will come back and respect you. Or you can let them tamper and just walk over you, and you will have to deal with resentment and anger yourself. So it's up to you to choose what path. All paths are hard to follow, but it's up to you to choose your hard. So that has been my journey for the whole of this year. I've been trying to clean up that. It's work in progress, and I'll encourage us, especially those in the African setting, people think boundaries as walls and all this, but just have a way. They're like rules on how people come and interact with your life. And even when you look at our system, constitutions, if there are no rules, you can imagine how the world will be interacting. If there are no rules governing a country, a school, everyone just coming and stepping over you anyhowly, you can imagine how chaotic the world will be. And so most of the time we find we are law abiders when it comes to the outside world, but we ourselves forget to put parameters on how people are coming and are going to treat us. And I feel the hardest one is people we've grown up with, like our family members. And now that you're going into the festive season, I feel there's a need to put these boundaries, so that even as you go back to work, when you go back to school, you're going to be in a place of peace. And one of the things, actually what I've done, I hugely respect people who have boundaries. Why? Because it makes friendship easier, because I know I cannot step on you when it comes to this area, this one angers you, so I'll try to avoid those paths that try and make you feel like I'm going to offend you. But you can imagine interacting with someone who doesn't tell you, like, whatever you've been doing to me, it's hurting you. And so they harbor resentment, and what comes out of it, when they blow up, it's going to be a very painful breakup. It can go to violence. Why? Just because this person didn't have the courage to tell you, like, I don't like the manner in which you approach me, the manner in which you do things with me. So let's create healthy boundaries with our family. Let's try heal our childhood traumas, seek therapy. Therapy is not for people who have gone mad, no. Therapy is for anyone willing to take on a personal journey and develop themselves. So in the next episode, I'll be talking about forgiveness. It's such a huge topic that most of the time it's normally not well understood, but I'm going to break it into pieces whereby you're going to have a general understanding of how you can use that as a gift towards this festive season and coming 2022. So see you in the next video. This is Beyond and Within. If you identify with this content, you know what to do. plugging into my blog, beyondandwithin.com, whereby I write daily meditations on our day-to-day life. And see you in the next video. Bye.